It's no secret that the Invincible TV show has changed many things from the comics. From Omni-Man's grief, or in the comics case, fear after his fight with Mark, to adding new Invincible variants and fixing some deaths that didn't make too much sense. But as a whole, these changes have made me love the series even more than I did back when I read the comics after season 1. And I'm sure that these changes will continue to come, especially with the introduction of show-exclusive arcs. Also, I need a banger, bro. Bills don't pay themselves and Invincible gets a lot of views. Now, if the entire comic run does end up getting animated, there are several things I'd like to see changed in it. And let me say first that in no way am I suggesting just because I'd like to see some stuff changed, does that mean I think the comics are bad. They all hold a special place in my heart and have some of my favorite characters and art in comic book history. Alright, now first up to the plate is a character who I think just kind of needs to be redone as a whole, Bulletproof.
Fuck it, I'm out too. I can't work for a man I don't trust.
Now, my main issues with Bulletproof only really came in on the last few arcs of the series. In the first few arcs, he's a very solid character that, although stays in the background, he never isn't enjoyable when he is on the screen. But when that light does get shined on him, that's when the issues come in. Because, first off, this guy is a chronic cheater, like, really bad. He tries to hook up with Eve while she's pregnant, and with Mark while he had the Invincible mantle.
I can't work for a man I don't trust.
Now, not only is that bad because his girlfriend is never shown to not be a good partner to him, she loves him and treats him with respect, plus this also ruins his characterization up until now. You see, he quit working for Rouxl because he couldn't trust him, but then he's out here doing this shit.
I can't work for a man I don't trust.
Plus, his whole mindset about only working for a man he can trust just gets thrown out the window when he starts working for Robot. Because, like, yeah, it makes sense to work for the guy who took his dead friend's name and body, without the consent on the body part, by the way.
I can't work for a man I don't trust.
And is also just kind of creepy as shit for many reasons that just build up the longer he's on the screen.
Of course, I would never let you die.
Honestly, I don't really know how they can change him to make this scene better, especially with how he is already a lot of a different character in the show. So my hope is that this whole plotline just gets straight trashed, and he gets a new one. Maybe he can get some episodes about his time being invincible, or just anything is better than this shit.
I said I only wished to speak.
The aftermath of her actions is another thing I'd like to see changed in the show, because after she rapes Mark, I believe it was handled very well, especially with how it affected Mark and Eve's relationships, but my issue is what happens after the reboot arc, which is a thing we'll get to later, because she faces absolutely zero consequences for what she did to Mark, and when I say zero, I deadass mean zero. Like, she has 2 kids and a husband and is in a good marriage. Like, she has a healthier love life than Mark. And I don't want to hear that her death during the final battle was some sort of redemption, because she has never apologized to Mark face to face. We never even got to see Mark confront her. And honestly, that's what bugs me the most about it. It feels like Mark's arc after the assault never fully completed because we never got to see him come face to face with Anissa and not fight her, but just to be able to say what he needs to say, let everything out that he's been keeping in for years, technically. That's what is the most disappointing part of the storyline for me. It just feels incomplete. Now, moving on from characters and specific character arcs, we get to a much bigger issue for me. One of the last arcs in the comic run, the Reboot arc. Now, I like to be very polite when I'm talking about other people's creations, because I have the privilege of getting to discuss their content. And even with the stuff I don't like in stories, I'll either not talk about it or try to find something good in it. But this arc, there just isn't anything I find enjoyable.
Fucking ass, bitch! Quit fucking music! Quit that shitty ass shit!
To give a brief summary, Mark is sent back in time and gets to restart the Invincible story from the start. But this time, he has all his memories from his past. However, my issue with this is that literally nothing becomes of this. The new timeline is erased. Mark misses out on years of his daughter's life and family's lives. And for what? Just to make him suffer more, to make him go through more, to make him go through another arc that just tortures him, except in this case, he doesn't learn anything from it. Everything we got to see about Mark in this arc is just things we already knew about his development, but this time just shoved straight down our throats and in our faces. Not to mention all the meaningless drama that we get when he returns, which never gets resolved or gets resolved immediately. I honestly want the show to just flat out skip this arc. Do a show exclusive arc or just a time skip. Quite literally, anything would be better than having to see this arc again in any form of media. Now I've covered a lot of stuff that I don't like and stuff that I hope gets changed, but there's also stuff that I hope gets added, like new content about certain things or maybe characters getting introduced later or earlier in the story. For me, what I'd love to see is what happened to Full Mask Mark, because I know this is like a total crackpot theory that's been going around for years at this point, that he survived, but just come on, it'd be really cool to see the life of an Invincible variant for maybe 1 to 2 episodes. How he got away, what his life is like on his Earth, his sins, regrets, what happened to his loved ones. And I'd love to see more of what an Earth was like when Robot was in control as well. Maybe just like a day in his life, where we get to see how he changed the world, and then at the end we can see him when he's alone, how little of a man he really is, and maybe even see how much he regrets everything he's done in the story, and how he tries to convince himself that everything will work out, and that the sacrifices and death were necessary to get to the point where the world is now. The Invincible show just has so much potential to do whatever it wants in the story. What it can change, improve, keep as it is. But whatever happens, I will be there to watch it. And honestly, all I really want from the story is to please bring back Rexplode in the Hell storyline. Please, I want to see him doing some Doomslayer shit. Please, I want to see Rexplode. I want. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Give me your thoughts on what you'd like to see changed or improved in the Invincible TV show. Thank you for all watching. Like and subscribe if you got time, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.
I can't work for a man I don't trust.